I have made it back. I was gone last week. This is Jack, by the way. But everything is totally normal. Status quo has been kept the same. We are giving you what you truly want. So, yeah. Doug, how are you doing this week?
Oh, I'm okay. I just got a slight change of... I'm a different person now.
Oh, so. Wow. Oh, okay. It sounds like you got some helium or something there. I don't know. Okay, in any case, this is Comics Covered for the week of May 14th, 2018, episode 27. We, on Comics Covered, Doug and I, this is Doug, we talk about comic books, that world around them, and the comics industry, the comics movie, TV, games. We will also talk spoilers about some books. One book. Well, some books. And we'll probably swear. But we'll warn you about the spoilers, though. I'm Jack. I am usually the new guy, the dumb guy in comics. We have two new people. If you did not guess, it was not Doug on the other line.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry, I lied to you guys a little bit.
So who are you?
I am Samantha. Yeah, and I am very new to comics, but actually I have read a lot more than Jack has. Not a lot of the stuff that you guys have talked about on here, but a lot of other things.
I don't know if you've read more than I have. I think,
feel like I have.
Okay. In like brute pages of comics?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, man. Okay, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Well, it is. Never mind. Samantha, I have a character. We usually do a bit on this where Doug gives me a character that's weird.
Yeah.
And he then tells me about it, and then I try and guess as much as I can about the backstory from the name. So we're going to try that right here. Samantha, I know who Monsieur Mala is.
Uh-huh. So I'm supposed to tell you about him?
So you're supposed to tell me, first you're supposed to guess the publisher, and then you're going to guess the origin story, and or just in general what kind of character he is.
I feel like this person is French.
Okay.
And...
Wait. Who's the publisher?
The publisher is DC?
Good job. It's
Thank
DC.
You. Yay. I know things.
Technically, it was originally Vertigo, but it is DC.
But now it is DC, so I'm correct. Yes, French. A man.
Don't look at me. She's looking at me. We're in the same place, by the way.
Yes. A man. And has a very large cape. Very colorful.
Okay.
Feel like very tall.
What do you think generally his deal is?
I think he's a bit of a dick.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a dick?
I do. I really do. I feel like he kind of rules over a society that he looks down upon, and they know that.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So that's...
Is that kind of... Okay.
I don't know. That's what I'm getting from his name.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
Okay.
Monsieur Mala is, in fact... I'm channeling my inner Doug. That's what he says every time, if anybody's ever noticed. Monsieur Mala is, in fact, a giant gorilla.
Oh, wow.
Who does not have a
French?
cape. He's not French.
Okay.
Monsieur Mala is an ape who is a villain. He is a dick. He is kind of a dick.
Okay.
He tussles with the Doom Patrol, which you have not read yet, but you want to. He is great. He's just a big gorilla. He is mostly in a team with another character named The Brain.
Oh, wow.
Who is, in fact, a brain.
Gorilla and a brain.
Just a brain.
I like that.
The Brain and Monsieur Mala.
I like
the evil villain team.
Very nice.
So yeah, easily, taken by the name, obviously. Okay, so cool. Well, we've had a week. Samantha,
we have had a week.
How was your week? Non-comics related. Anything like,
Man, I mean, I could go on forever. This week has not been fun.
Okay, that's not
a
fun.
great week.
Why?
Lots of doctors, lots of health issues. Not too fun.
Okay.
Not too fun.
That's partially the reason why you get to read a lot of comics too, though.
It is. So, it has its good moments there.
Well, yeah. Silver linings to everything. Well, maybe not everything, but there's a silver lining most of the time.
Yes.
Okay. I had a good week.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time together, so our weeks are kind of the same. Well, not the same. Actually, that's a lie. It's a dirty lie. But in any case, yeah, we had weeks. They were fun. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to tell you. We can move on though into our news.
News?
Yeah. Samantha, that's where we pause.
And you play your song.
Exactly. The song goes in that little silence that we just had,
okay.
but they can't hear the silence, so we're speaking nonsense right now.
Okay, good.
Okay, well, in any case, in our movie news, which is first, we had a very sad week. This week, we lost Margot Kidder. If anybody does not know who that is, Margot Kidder played Lois Lane in the original Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. She was great as Lois Lane, a strong female character in a time when female characters were few and far between, at least strong ones. I don't know. Did you ever watch those movies?
I didn't. I did not.
You didn't watch those movies at all?
No.
None of them?
No. So I think now I should.
They're great.
Well, yeah. I assume they are.
Ah. Why didn't you watch them?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just have not.
You know of them, though,
yes.
that they exist and everything. Do you? Okay, I guess darn it. There are so many funny things that happen in those movies. Okay, well, in any case, Margot Kidder, she's great as Lois Lane. She had a lot of problems going on into her later life. She died at 69, so, she had some stuff going on. She, I guess, had a public breakdown, a nervous breakdown at some point.
I read about that, where she thought not just one person was coming after her, but a whole group of people.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
And I read a quote where she said that you cannot change a person's mind who's manic.
Oh, okay.
So she was, talking about herself.
I heard that she was had an overdose of not overdose, but she was dosed wrong on lithium at some point.
Well, she refused to take it for a long time.
Oh. How do you know all this?
As I read about her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because, we'll tell you something interesting relating to this a little bit later.
Yeah. That's a nice little tease.
Nice little tease, yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
In any case, that's sorry, we shouldn't be laughing. It's sad. It's really sad. She had a lot of a troubled life, but, we go on into the beating waves. That was Great Gatsby. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. In any case, it's sad, and everyone should go out to watch those movies. I personally... Okay, so funny thing about the movies, they filmed, Superman 1 and Superman 2. They knew they were going to do the sequel when they were doing the first one, mm-hmm. So they, put in specific things to, set up the sequel that weren't at all addressed in the one.
Oh.
And I remember... Because I like Superman 2 better, but, yeah, I thought it was really weird when I was a kid. I saw it when I was 10 probably. I thought it was really weird that they were why did they introduce these people that look like villains, but they're not coming into this movie? It's really strange. In any case, another funny, well now, whatever, it's not that funny. So next up in movie news, everyone knows, I don't know, we've covered this on here before. There's a movie that DC is putting out called Shazam, about the hero Shazam. I don't know if you know who Shazam is.
I have heard the name.
You know who Captain Marvel is, though?
Yes, I do.
And you know that Captain Marvel exists technically both in DC and Marvel.
Yes.
And Captain Marvel in DC is Shazam.
Yes.
They changed the name for obvious reasons.
Yes.
So yeah, Captain Marvel always said Shazam to change from the little boy into the superhero.
Okay.
That's where he gets his power from. You're reading Black Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how the girl turns into Golden Gale
mm-hmm.
as with Zafram.
Mm-hmm.
Too funny. In any case, they just wrapped up filming on Shazam.
That's exciting.
So yeah, that's really exciting. I don't know have you heard anything about this? We've covered who's in that and everything. Do you know who Zachary Levi is?
I might know the face.
You might know the face. He's in more comedic roles and stuff.
Okay.
So people are wondering what this film is actually going to look like, because DC up until now has been really dark and gritty and weird. But there have been some set photos that make Zachary Levi look like a big guy in a muscle suit.
Okay.
And I don't know, it could be a really cool, lighthearted turn. Have you seen any of those DC? Do you see Man of Steel?
No. No, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
You hate all Superman movies.
No, it is not
you?
true. It is not true.
You hate them. Okay, in any case. Did you watch the Superman Returns with Kevin Spacey as
I don't think I did.
Wow, you just hate them.
Hey, I just read Crisis and Infinite Crisis.
Okay.
And I love Superman now. So, okay, I'm getting into this.
Okay. All versions of him?
Well,
in any case, that is about it for movie news. I mean, yeah, there wasn't a lot. And one sad thing, we'll see how Shazam is, I guess. Who knows? Who knows? Who really knows?
Oh, Deadpool 2 also came out.
Well, yeah, but that's not like, oh yeah, I guess I should have mentioned that. Deadpool 2 came out. I haven't seen it. We haven't seen it.
We were going to see it tonight, but it's all sold out.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Since we have Movie Pass, we have to do the thing where we get free movies and to go the day of, so it kind of makes it hard. Whatever. Let's move on to TV news. In TV news, we have some exciting things, some rumors going on about Daredevil Season 3. You watched Daredevil Season 1. How'd you like it?
I loved it. And I was about to start Season 2 yesterday, but I just keep putting it off. But I really need to watch it.
It's I think the first half is some of the best stuff that Daredevil does at all.
But that's why I keep putting it off, because when you hear that something's not that great.
No, it's good. It's really good at the end of the second season. I just don't think it's as good. Also, it's tougher because Wilson Fisk, Kingpin from the first season, he takes kind of a back seat he's in the second season at points, but he takes kind of a back seat. Okay. He's not really in a lot of it. Okay. But one rumor that's going on about season 3 is that apparently Wilson Fisk is going to have a much bigger role.
Oh, good.
So he's going to have a bigger role. Also, do you know at all who the character Bullseye is?
No.
Theoretically, people think that one guy named Wilson Bethel, I have no idea who that is cast as Bullseye. Okay. Who the only way I know who Bullseye is because in the terrible Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, do you remember that coming out?
Yes.
Daredevil with Jennifer Garner, Ben Affleck, and was Ving Rhames Kingpin? I think he was, yeah. Colin Farrell played Bullseye. Okay. And he had a little, thing on the middle of his forehead. Yeah, a little bullseye. And but apparently they're putting emphasis that Bullseye is very deadly from far away. Ooh. So it'll be an interesting dynamic, maybe. He's a huge Daredevil character, or so I believe. I know this isn't as gripping when we don't have anybody to what's the word? To
corroborate.
Corroborate.
I know words.
You do know words. Are things, but I believe Bullseye is
pretty new here.
We are both pretty new.
But we're doing our best.
We're doing our best. Hi Doug. Doug's gonna edit this later. It's really, really fun. In any case, because I don't know how to edit. He does. He's really good at it. Other TV news, something I do know a lot about because I've read way more of this than probably any other thing in the world. the DC streaming service, DC Universe, is going to have a live action Doom Patrol TV series. I am so excited. It could be so bad. Have you seen any clips from the DC shows on the CW and stuff?
No. Wait, yes I have.
Really? Like what?
I don't know, but I feel like I have.
The Flash is on there, Green Arrow is on there. I heard Green Arrow is actually pretty good. Supergirl is on there, but they all have a very noticeable sense of what quality they put in, how much money they put into it. And a lot of these DC shows that they're debuting, some set photos that are coming out for the new Titans, they look kind of similar on the quality. Okay. So I'm tapering my excitement, but I'm going to watch the whole thing. Okay. Definitely.
Just watch you be watch 2 episodes and say, I'm really not into it.
Yeah, it's going to turn out
I'll remind you that you said this, that you have to watch the whole thing.
I know. Watch would be horrible. You watched Happy with me. It was the exact same thing with Happy.
When we finish it, episode 5, you're I can't do this anymore.
I don't think we got that far. I believe we got to episode 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. In any case, no, I'm really excited for Doom Patrol. It's great. I'm really excited for you to read.
I'm very excited.
I have all of Grant Morrison's run in the corner of our room. So I'm pumped for you to read it at some point. Excited. It's great. They recently released that, the Titans, their Teen Titans TV show, live action TV show. Mm-hmm. The 5th episode is going to be called The Doom Patrol. That was the first thing released. And because Beast Boy, who's a part of Teen Titans, was a part of the Doom Patrol. Beast Boy is a guy who can turn into animals and shit.
That's cool.
He's green.
I would like to do that.
But set photos show that he's just a guy with green hair in the TV show. So we'll see what that looks like.
They didn't have any more funds to make it a little more.
I don't know. I guess they didn't have the green funds.
His hair with the one-day dye that you shower up.
Yep. It's just that. He's peacefully. But in any case, I'm pumped. I'm really, really pumped. In any case, comics news. Let's go on to that. Stan Lee. You know who Stan Lee is.
Oh, no. Who's that? Of course I know who Stan Lee is.
Okay, I don't know, man. Stan Lee has been having...
I did not know he was 95 years old, though.
He's 95 years old. Yeah. He has had quite the end of it. That was really bad.
That was horrible.
That was terrible. He has had quite a life recently. He people think he was having elder abuse problems. He was all over the place. He was thinking I don't know. But now he's suing this company called POW, which I think is a publisher. I believe is a publisher. And he partially founded the company, in fact. Oh. But he's suing them because they used his likeness and made money off of it. And he says that they did not get permission from him. So he says they conned him.
So they basically took advantage of him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
He has apparently a lot of macular degeneration, which means he's basically legally blind. Yeah. And he thinks that either they just did it without having any paperwork, and he says that if they do have paperwork, his signature, they either forged it, or they told him he was signing something that
different.
They didn't tell him about.
What assholes.
They'd be assholes.
My first swearing of
That's
this
good.
show.
Oh, yeah. Have you noticed? Have I sworn at all?
No, you have not.
Wow.
So we need to
Does asshole count as a swear, though?
It's the start of, it's where you first start off. Then you go upwards.
From asshole? You were saying asshole is the least, pervasive? Not pervasive.
It's one of the least.
One of the least controversial swear words?
Yeah.
What would you say is on the par of asshole?
Maybe shit.
No? Shit's a little higher, I think.
Yeah?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
Anyway.
That's a tangent. In any case, it's sad. Stan Lee, I hope his life gets a little less complicated, because this is not fun.
No.
Not fun at all.
He doesn't deserve this. He's a good man.
No, he is a good man. I mean, who knows?
Well, he's given a lot to everybody.
Yeah.
And he's worked really hard. And so we just hope the best for him.
Definitely. Doug was telling me, not last week, because I wasn't 2 weeks ago, that he has a lot of taglines and code words and stuff. Like he says Excelsior, and that's a tagline. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that either. Everyone knows that, apparently.
That's really funny.
And also he calls people that are reading comics and stuff the true believers.
Nice.
Saying hi to my true believers.
So am I that now?
You're a true believer.
I feel so good now.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I was telling him, it sounds a lot like a wrestling promoter. You know what I mean? Like Vince McMahon, he calls it the WWE Universe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
It does. I like it.
It's great.
I'm really happy to be part of that now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What is it? So, that's sad. Stan Lee, get better. Not get better. He can't control it. Hopefully. He's in our thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
In any case, we don't really pray. I know, I'm going over myself. Comics news. We have one other thing. So, some DC higher-ups had a meeting, and some guy from, I think I read this on bleedingcool.com, was reporting that apparently they're planning their next Crisis. And theoretically, the name is ... Crisis. And that's it. Who knows? Scott Snyder.
Can I talk about my thing with Infinite Crisis?
Yeah, just 1 second. Okay. You just want to get right into things.
I really do.
I know. In any case, apparently Scott Snyder said that Crisis is not the real name for it, or that's not true, but it's been kind of the talk of the town, so who knows? We've talked about, Tom King has recently been talking about his thing called Sanctuary, which is an idea that he wants to address, actually. Sanctuary would be a sort of place where superheroes can get treated for mental disorder, PTSD,
awesome.
And such. And
it's Tom King, so it'll be amazing.
Exactly. He used the word crisis specifically to describe it, and he said something to the nature of, and you know how important the word crisis is in DC. Mm-hmm. So this next crisis could be involved with that. We hope it is, because I love Tom King, and I don't know. You've noticed we're both very into psychology and everything, so we both really enjoy Tom King's depiction of mental disorder, of emotion in his comics, of mental health in general. Like, we love Mr. Miracle. What else was there? Vision.
Oh, Vision.
And
beautiful.
The Swamp Thing Winter Special was amazing. Yeah, we both need to read more Tom King stuff.
Yes.
His Batman stuff is apparently divisive, but Doug likes it. Okay. So, So
we'll give it a try.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Swamp Thing Winter Special was definitely one of my favorite things that I've ever read.
What'd you like about it?
I just thought it was so beautifully done. And, and moving, and it was this big monster that just, he had to, if I remember, he had to kill the thing that he loved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, he was, spoilers for that if you haven't read it in the last 5 months, he had this child that he was protecting, and it turned out at the end that the child was what was making him
the
weaker.
Monster, the thing that the child was saying, something's trying to get us, come after us, but in fact it was him. Mm-hmm. And in the end, he had to. Mm-hmm. It was really beautiful and really sad.
A really nice, short story by him. We actually have, because we like Swamp Thing, I got Alan Moore's first volume of the Saga of the Swamp Thing, so we're both really excited to read that too. In any case, off of Crisis, we both just read, well, Samantha's been reading it for a while. What did we do, Samantha? I've been hogging the runtime here.
What are you getting at here?
What did we do with Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis?
Well, we read Crisis.
Yes.
And then we read Infinite Crisis.
Yes.
Okay. And what are you?
I don't know.
Me to talk about what I what I.
Yeah. What do you think about those? Because
I loved it. Crisis was my first delve into superheroes in the world of superheroes, and I thought I would hate it. I really did. Because it's a lot.
Why did you think you'd hate it so much?
Because it's so much, and each issue is double or triple the size of a normal issue. Yeah. And, before I started comics, I have ADD and it's hard for me to read. Mm-hmm. So I was going into it thinking this is so long. I'll never finish it. But the way that the art is done and emotion is created with the faces, and it was amazing. I loved it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really good. And then Infinite Crisis, the art was so different, and it did go by faster. Okay. Yeah, what do you have to say about both of them? I mean,
for me, when I started reading comics, I basically read a bunch of Scott Snyder's run on Batman, mm-hmm. so I could catch up and get some background on what was going on in Dark Knight's Metal, which is a very recent, big crossover event that DC did. Just like Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis were big crossover events. Yeah. In fact, I read recently that they originally wanted to attach the name Crisis to this Dark Knight's Metal event, but Scott Snyder was like, no, I don't want that.
Oh, that's what you asked the comic books woman today. If she's read it.
If she's read Dark Knight's Metal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, cool. We just went to a comic book store and I got Samantha The Killing Joke so she can read it. I'm really excited for you to read it.
I'm more excited.
In any case, I read Dark Knight's Metal and I was a little let down because it was a big, bombastic, huge story that I just really didn't get a grip on. It just felt like all this big stuff was happening all the time, but you didn't really have any emotional grounding to it. You didn't really feel like, oh, they're doing this. Oh, they're doing this. And I was sitting here okay, what does that kind of mean? Yeah. And even Doug, who's been reading this longer, he was like, okay, yeah, okay. So it was just, I don't know. I didn't like it that much. So I was kind of soured on big event things like that. So right. Samantha just kind of started to pick up Crisis on Infinite Earths. I was like, you really like it? That's crazy. Cause I didn't even think I was going to like it that much. I was just reading it for the history of it, honestly. But it's truly a fantastically executed story.
It really
with
is.
How huge it is.
It really is. And I will say, the first few issues, I was very confused. I'm like, who was this person and this person? Mm-hmm. And, they're just introducing thing after thing after thing. But by the end of it, it all ties together and it does it really well and you understand everything and you get emotion from it. And So it was wonderful. I was really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, no, definitely. And with Crisis on Infinite Earths, like, it's really cool. I noticed that, I think I told Doug this, but I don't know if I told you this. There's such a difference in coloring between it, and specifically between it and Infinite Crisis. You can see a change in the coloring because there's so much more filled in with Infinite Crisis. And Doug was telling me that it's because, like, delays are a lot more used nowadays and everything like that.
What do you mean about delays?
Like, they never delayed comics, apparently.
Oh, yes.
Back in the day. They were like, get this done now.
Oh, that's why, remember the story that my mom talked about?
What story?
With Superman, that he was a cereal box character.
Oh, yeah.
And that the writer, he wanted a 2-week vacation.
Oh, yeah.
But that wasn't allowed during that time. So they had to create something that would make Superman not be available or not be around and be, not able to be Superman for 2 weeks. So they developed kryptonite.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
It is insane. It's really funny.
Because that must have been even before, like, he was coming out in a weekly publication or something.
Yeah, it was.
That's just, wow.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah, we've had quite the time reading both of these, though. Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis. I think the next Crisis we're reading is Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
So that's very different. But, like, I don't know. What turned you off about, like, superhero comics in general? Because, like, the first comic that we read was, what was that?
Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle.
It was the very first thing that we read together. You showed me that.
Yeah.
Well, what turned me off of it was, if you're coming into comics not knowing anything about it, and this, I've talked to a good amount of people who feel this way, that don't know anything about comics. You think of it as boom, pow, and very, like, silly things that you won't care about.
Like Adam West Batman, like the 60s Batman show.
Yes. So I was never really into it. But, when you show me Mr. Miracle, and that there is emotion in it, and it's not just silly, and
Mr. Miracle is like the opposite of silly.
No, I know. So, you kind of get shocked when you read something like that, when all you've thought of is the other way that I was saying. Mm-hmm. So wait, what was your original question?
I was asking you, like,
why did I want to go into Crisis? Or
into Crisis, and, like, I don't know. Like, we also read God Country together.
We
both read that for the first time together.
Is my favorite ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only literature that I've ever cried from. Mm-hmm. I will say that. I've never cried from reading anything. And
that was the first story that you read, right?
That was the first one I read on my own, not with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we read that together.
Yes, sorry. I'm thinking of Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing I read.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Did you feel, like, more comfortable with the medium, like, after God Country, going into Crisis on Infinite? Like, I don't know. What made you want to pick up Crisis on Infinite Earth? Because it's really a lot.
Because I feel like I wanted to get into the whole thing. Reading Mr. Miracle, I saw that it wasn't what I thought.
Yeah.
So I thought the best way to do it is to pick up this huge book that has a lot of history and just delve into it. I mean, it's a lot easier than just saying, yeah, I'll read, an issue of this and an issue of that. No, I wanted to read the big thing, and I feel like that was really good for me to do. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a huge thing.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, but you, I don't know, I don't know if I liked it better than Infinite Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths. I really want to read Crisis on Infinite Earths again, because I feel like now that I kind of know everything about it, I can go back and read it. You know what I mean? And get a better idea of what's going on kind of in the beginning and everything, based on what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. In any case, it's really exciting. We both read that. Oh, you didn't talk about...
So can I talk about the thing?
Yeah, you didn't talk about your thing.
Okay, so...
That's what I was leading you to.
I finished Infinite Crisis a couple days or a week before Jack did.
Yeah.
And one thing that happens at the end, spoilers alert.
For Infinite Crisis, if you've been under a rock for 20 years.
Yes.
15, 13.
So Lois Lane dies at the end of it. And then you know, I just go about my day, I look at the news, and I see that Margot Kidder died. And it was really freaky. Because, I mean, the last time that happened, I don't know if you remember, we were on vacation in Utah, and we had just seen Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
We come back to the house, and my uncle tells us that she's dead.
Who?
What's...
Princess Leia?
Yes, the Princess Leia.
Carrie Fisher.
Yes, thank you. That Carrie Fisher's dead.
I just wanted to see you try and figure out the name for a second.
So,
and specifically, we'd watched Rogue One, which at the end, I don't know if anyone remembers, they show spoilers for that, a CGI'd young Carrie Fisher, like in her garb at the beginning of Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah.
So it was crazy hearing that. Crazy.
So yeah, so when I heard that Margot Kidder died, I had to text Doug because I couldn't talk to Jack about it.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell him. But it was weird.
Yeah.
That I had just read that and then that just happened.
What if that's a thing with you?
I know that.
I should never write a biography and have you read it.
No, never.
That'd be terrible.
Never.
Okay. Please. So if any of you ever have a biography, just don't send it to us. Okay?
Yes.
Don't do it. We don't want to do this to you. I mean, never mind. I just had a whole scenario going in my head. In any case, Samantha.
Yeah.
We're done with news. Maybe we should talk about some comics. Weekly comics.
Ooh. Well, in the stack that you had.
That was the pause for the music.
Oh.
You just talked over the music. Wow.
Oh.
In any case, it's okay. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, of the stack that you had for this week.
Are you going to talk about what I read?
I only read... well, for this week, I only read one of them.
Yeah.
Because I have not read the third barrier.
What'd you read?
Gideon Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've been reading Oh, yeah, we both... well, I haven't been reading Barrier. I need to read Barrier. She's been reading Barrier. By Brian K. Vaughan.
After we spent time waiting and met Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah.
It's a respect thing. You owe it to him. So I don't know why Jack is being very disrespectful to Brian and not reading it, but, that's his thing.
Rude.
I'm just telling it like
By the way, that's another thing that Doug does. Oh. I'm trying to be Doug. Isn't that funny? Okay, in any case.
You're a good Doug.
Thank you. I'm a good boy.
You're a good boy.
Good dog. In any case, I had a stack this week. It's called Avengers, Captain America. I read Quicksilver, which, by the way, Quicksilver, I loved it. By Saladin Ahmed. That man is really turning me into...
I really want to read it. The art was beautiful.
Oh, it's so cool. Except the thing about Quicksilver is that it's spinning out of Avengers No Surrender, which is this 16-part... I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just, it's a lot to go through to just read this 5-part series that's going to happen.
Would I have to read that
in order to? I mean, I could probably tell you the general, things that happened, and you'd be fine. Yeah, whatever. But we both read Gideon Falls, which is fantastic. I don't know. I think I talked about it on the show. We talked about it on the show for some panels of the week. We'll talk about that one in specific. So, yeah. And then Barrier, I haven't read yet. But and You Are Deadpool. My store actually didn't order it. I didn't know this was a thing. They actually did. Well, I guess I did know. They didn't order it, the third part. They're going to order 3 and 4 for next week, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But it's annoying because in the book...
It says that you had to read number 3 first, right?
Yeah, in the book, it tells you based on... There's a scoring system in this book, which is crazy. Highly recommend it. It's hysterical. There's a scoring system, though, that gives you a sadness score and a badness score. So if it says, if your sadness score is higher, you read 2 weeks from now. If your badness score is higher, you read 1 week from now. These aren't the exact things. Yeah. But it's ridiculous. So I have 2, but I need to read 3 first. Gotta do it. In any case, we're going to do our little spoiler warning now, because we're going to talk about Gideon Falls in specifics. So give the spoiler warning sound, Samantha.
Is there a specific sound?
It changes all the time. Just do any sound you want. Nice. That's actually a lot, very close to what I do a lot of times. I do
oh, mine's better.
Oh, okay. In any case, let's talk about this book.
Gideon Falls is a wonderful book.
We both are really into horror in general, too. And
let's talk about the cover.
We want to talk about the cover?
The cover.
The cover's awesome.
First,
do you like the cover?
Start off. Okay. I think the cover is wonderful because it is a map. It looks like a city map right?
Is that New York?
I don't know, but
it's supposed to be New York?
And it is in the shape of one of the characters.
Faces.
Yeah.
And her eye is creepy looking.
It's really cool.
In any case, it's great. It's a great cover. I don't know if this is the artist variant cover. We don't have a variant cover, do we? We don't have a variant cover. Do you know what a variant cover is?
No.
Variant covers, okay, so people do like these regular covers, right? They're A covers usually.
Okay.
But they have like B covers and they have variant covers. So they'll just sell this with a different cover.
Okay.
And it'll be just like, this is the main cover, but they'll have other ones because some people like having different styles. Yeah. But if you're like into collecting comic books, it's usually bad to have variant covers. Like Doug was having a pissy shit fit over
pissy shit.
That's
gotta be messy.
Pissy shit fit.
Oh wow!
I know, really messy. That was my swearing.
Yeah.
About getting a variant cover for Action Comics 1000, which is like a milestone. Uh-huh. So even though he probably isn't going to sell it later, he was being like just kind of like
putting Doug down
right
Doug.
Now.
Just because Doug's not here.
Just because Doug's not here.
Wow.
In any case, Samantha, what do you like about this book the most? What?
This specific issue or Gideon Falls in general?
Gideon Falls in general.
I think it's so good because you have this character who seems like he's completely...
Spoilers, by the way.
Yes. The character seems that he's completely insane. And you kind of go through it and see, okay, he's not insane. Mm-hmm. He knows that there's something out there. He sees it, he feels it, and he's trying to get to the bottom of it, and no one believes him. And then the one person who kind of has the same vision that he does, except in a different way, is his therapist, who had previously admitted him into the mental hospital. Mm-hmm. So, in this specific issue, she comes to the house and admits to him that she has physically seen the barn? The black barn. The black barn. And what's our character's name?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Norton.
So, yeah, Norton has only seen this in his dreams. He hasn't been awake and ever seen it. So, yeah, the therapist comes to the house, and she claims, yeah, I saw it, but I think it's shared psychosis, so it isn't a real thing. So you're put back into the place where, you know, he's still the insane one. Mm-hmm. It isn't a real thing yet. Yeah, the thing with the pastor...
Yeah, what subplot do you like more? Do you like the pastor coming into a new town and finding that and being taken in? Do you like his better,
yes.
The crazy guys?
Yes.
Or not crazy guys?
Yes, I like Norton's plot better.
Okay.
I mean, I obviously like the other one too, but I think I'm drawn to the mental health thing. I like Norton's plot better.
So this book, just to give everybody, like, if you're not reading it and you're just listening, you should read it, first of all. This book was about... You know, it's following two different stories. This dude is a pastor, and he's coming in.
He's had a shady past.
He has had a shady past. Do we know what the shady past is yet?
They might have had one thing about it, but they basically just say he's had a shady past.
He's just shady.
Yeah.
And he comes to this town because the old pastor died, and the first night he's there, he has a vision of this old pastor, and he's like hopping like he looks like a leprechaun kind of thing. I don't know what leprechauns look like, but he looks like a gnome thing. What, you know what leprechauns look like?
Yeah, they're in a lot of different movies and stuff.
Okay, yeah, but there are different like ways that leprechauns can look. Okay, whatever. In any case. So Pastor is like, dude, I saw the Black Barn, but they're obviously not in the same place as this crazy dude. This crazy dude is collecting all this debris and stuff that is theoretically parts of the Black Barn, but it recently got stolen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this shit's going down. It's great. One of my favorite things about this book is the panel structure. They screw with the panel structure so much.
Oh, it's so good.
And I love it, because what they do is they specifically use the panel structure to focus on different things that the characters would usually focus. Samantha just opened up to a page that's probably my panel of the week. Since we're being weird, we're doing weird juxtapositions of... Is that the right word? Of the normal format?
I don't know.
Maybe not. In any case, this page is like our friend Norton sitting in his now booby-trapped room, because after he got all his shit stolen, he set up all these booby traps, like glass under the floorboards here, and electrocuted doorknob, acid on top of this, shelving.
But he doesn't only just point it out. In the panels, they have, it's a red circle that's kind of a magnifying glass, so you see each of these things.
As he's going through it in his head. And it's so cool because, like, I think I did this as my panel of the week when this last issue came out. Like, when he was looking at his door being broken open, his, like, lock
as
being
he's
broken.
walking towards it.
It's so great.
It's really good.
I love the art in this. I don't know who the artist is. Andrea Sorrentino. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it. It's so cool. I don't know. Okay, we'll have to ask Doug. I don't know, like, who does panel structure, if it's the writer, or it must be the artist, right?
Maybe they work together on it.
Maybe they work together. I guess they literally work together on the book. But, okay, we should have a thing writing down, like, questions for Doug next week.
Questions for Doug.
We'll do it. Who knows if this format's going to work ever again, this new person.
But I think it should. I think it's brilliant. I really like it.
It's really great. I'm a large fan. But in any case, yeah, Gideon Falls continues to be fantastic. Really cool colors, uses of black and white and red circles. At the end, we get this reveal that the pastor has a friend in town who knows about the Black Barn as well. So,
it's not a friend in town. Do you remember? It was,
who's
the
he?
doctor of the previous pastor.
Oh.
Who had just died. And when
he found, like, a floorboard.
Yeah, and
like
when our
this.
current pastor visits this doctor, he says, "Now you're our new soldier." So you kind of get the feeling that the old pastor might have been the old soldier and failed. So now our new pastor is the new guy.
We'll just have to see. Gideon Falls is great. I'm a large fan. It's awesome. Great. Yes, it is great.
That's great.
Okay, well, I don't know if we want to talk about spoilers about anything else. You're not reading anything else, really.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm reading Barrier. If you want me
you are reading Barrier.
About it, but I don't want to spoil anything for you.
You're not going to spoil anything. Okay, this is non-spoiler thoughts. What are your thoughts on... Did you read issue 3 of Barrier?
No, I read 1 and 2.
Okay, you read 1 and 2. This is a weekly series by Brian K. Vaughan that was originally on a digital... in a digital format, but he's releasing it weekly now in printings. So what do you think about Barrier? I don't know. How's that story for you?
I really like it. The structure of it is really cool because it's, instead of being vertical, it's horizontal.
Okay.
So you open it horizontally
cool.
instead of like a normal book. I love the art in it, and a big thing that I wasn't, aware of was that there's a lot of Spanish in it.
Oh yeah.
Which is really cool to have, 2 different languages in this one short issue.
Yeah.
So I really loved it, and you follow. This isn't really spoilers.
Yeah.
But it's like you're following a story of 2 different people.
Okay.
And kind of collides.
Okay.
But I really like it so far. I'm going to read the 3rd one probably tomorrow, so I'm sure it's good.
Cool.
Because the other 2 are great.
We were looking through the 3rd one and there's like 0 dialogue the entire time.
So I'm excited.
Which is interesting.
I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, seriously. And I heard that a lot of the Spanish also is like slang, so it's hard to like, with your basic Spanish background, it's tough for us to get without Google Translate. But Google Translate will work.
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's good. What's like the general genre of Barrier?
Like alien,
sci-fi
mystery.
stuff, mystery,
mystery,
sci-fi suspense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, in any case, I think that's about it for our weekly comics, like spoilers and everything. So let's list off my stack next week. I don't know if you're going to read any of this. Oh, you are?
I am.
Okay. So what I'm going to read, I actually have a pretty light week next week. So there's Flash War continuing, which is pretty cool. We just read that iconic moment from Flash in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Mm-hmm. God, that's so cool. I gotta talk to Doug about this. We have to talk to Doug about all that Crisis stuff, because it's just nuts. Nutso stuff. But in any case, I have Flash War next, which deals with a lot of the weird Flash continuity, which you got a taste of in Infinite Crisis, because you saw all the different Flashes and everything.
Yeah.
There are so many different Flashes, and this Flash War thing is like attempting to try and like address their continuity in weird waves. So it was really cool in the first issue. I'm excited to get more background on Flash, like the Flash in general, because I don't know much about him. But in any case, Flash War comes out next week. I believe it's the first issue of it, theoretically. The last one was like a lead-in of it. I don't know. Also, there is Black Hammer, Age of Doom, number 2.
Black Hammer is great, so I'm very excited for that.
Yes, you're reading Dr. Star as well.
Yeah.
And that comes on the off weeks, I believe, of Black Hammer. So every other week, there's either Black Hammer or Dr. Star, I believe. So that's nice.
That is nice.
But, yeah, Black Hammer. I'm glad you like that, because Black Hammer also has a lot of, like, in-jokes for, like, what superheroes are. Just like the Zafram thing that I talked about earlier. Or, like, how the alien Barbalian is a character, and his name is Mark Marks.
Yes.
As opposed to John Jones in DC, who you now know from Infinite Crisis. He's in a bit of Infinite Crisis.
Well, also, reading Dr. Star, there's characters from the Black Hammer universe.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you just read Dr. Star without that, you wouldn't get the same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's a little bit different, but yeah, I can understand what you're saying. And Dr. Star specifically has a lot of references to the Green Lantern Corps, specifically in the last issue. So that was really interesting. But Black Hammer Age of Doom comes out next week, so that should be fun. Hopefully, I get to read You Are Deadpool next week, which you have to read it too. It's great. Like, you need a dice for it and stuff, and it's just funny. It's fun. And then Barrier, since that's weekly, that comes out. But that's it, really. I don't know what Doug has. I think I didn't really look at what Doug has, because who cares about Doug, right? In any case.
He's so mean.
I am really mean. In any case, that's about weekly comics. That's about it. That's about it. Is there anything, what are you reading next? Like, in your stack of, we have so many books right now. So I was wondering what was next in your stack, because I just
started East of West.
She just started East of West, which, that's Lemire, right? That's Jeff Lemire? She's looking.
Hickman.
Oh, Hickman. Jonathan Hickman. So, oh yeah, and she just read
I just read Descender.
That's not Hickman. What's
No,
the Hickman
that's
thing?
Lemire.
What's the Hickman thing you read?
Oh, the other Hickman thing.
Shield. Hickman and Weaver. The Hickman and Weaver Shield series from 2010. I still need to read that.
It's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Really good.
I'm pumped. So that's another Jonathan Hickman thing. And then, so East of West. What am I reading next? I just read, Chew, Volume 1. We haven't talked about it on the show at all, but, like, Chew is great.
It's so different from anything you'll ever read.
It really is. Like, I'm just gonna give a little thing here, because if you haven't read it, it's really, really cool. Really cool balance of humor and detective cop story. It's about, like, this guy who is is it pronounced a Cibopath?
I don't know.
Cibopath. Yeah,
basically he can eat anything and tell its origin story, you know.
The food's origin story.
Basically, like where it was grown, who ate it. Mm-hmm. So if he theoretically takes a bite of a person, he can tell who killed them.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. It's really cool.
Really cool art as well. That's written by Rob Gilroy does the art. John Layman does the writing. And he's apparently a novelist, usually. Oh. But he writes comics as well. So, yeah. So we're going to continue reading that. You read True Volume 2 as well. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool. There are a lot of volumes of it. So if I'm like really, really, if someone maybe everyone's already read it and they just hate it, or they've read it and we're just telling them stuff they already know. I don't know.
You also just finished Paper Girls.
Oh yeah, I just finished Paper Girls too. Which, why didn't you like it as much?
It's not that I didn't like it. I didn't feel like I cared that much until the end of the volume 1.
Okay.
Volume 1. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like
I want to read volume 2.
Yeah.
I want to get, now that I'm interested. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it took longer for me to get interested.
Okay. And I can see that. I'm kind of a nerd, I think, into like time travel stuff. So and I'm getting the sense that Paper Girls is a lot about having to do with like pushing together time travel things, like Alexander Luthor with the two worlds, just smashing them together, those worlds.
That was the best.
Oh god, that was Infinite Crisis for everybody. What?
No, remember when we were talking about how he's like, yeah, why would I choose this world as the best world? It has AIDS and
oh yeah, it has like Ebola. Yeah, like why would I want all this stuff? No, like take out all that stuff. I want this one where it has like candy cane, dragonflies.
Right.
Oh, that'd be cool if there was a world with candy cane dragonflies.
I would feel really bad eating them.
Why?
Because they'd be alive.
They're dragonflies.
Animals. It doesn't matter.
If there was a dragonfly in this room right now, would you kill it?
No, I would trap it and put it outside and let it live its life and have babies and.
That is actually probably a better option. Yeah. Dragonflies are like big things. Like they're pretty smart too.
They're very cool.
I actually don't know if they're smart. They might not be. In any case, candy cane dragonflies. What if it helped them for you to like grab one and like lick it a little bit?
I don't see how it would help them.
What if it did? Would you do it?
I'd do it if it helped them. I'd do it for them.
You wouldn't be grossed out by them?
No.
Actually, that would be gross because then they'd probably have like
other licks
on it, and you'd probably get like herpes or something.
Probably.
That wouldn't be fun.
No.
In any case, candy cane dragonflies is a better idea than an execution. Just like Dark Knight's Metal. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't shit on that book that much. Maybe people loved it. Who knows? But in any case, I don't know. Is there anything like you want to talk about with like comics or anything? Anything you want, really? Because like you're a really new person, and this podcast is really all about having perspectives of new people.
Well, one thing that's interesting this week is that I had my mom, who shared the same view of comics, maybe even more so.
Yeah.
I had her read God Country.
By Donny Cates again, if anyone didn't know.
Donny Cates, who's amazing. I had her read it, and she loved it.
Yeah.
And it changed her view about comics, and she was telling my dad, this is not how we thought it was.
Yeah. In fact, your dad actually said, like, it's really funny, right? It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, cartoons are funny, right?
Yeah. And God Country is, I'm not really funny.
No. No, it's a beautiful story.
Mm-hmm.
But, so that was cool.
Yeah.
One other thing, my cousin, who's only into Japanese comics, like manga.
Nice. You got the term.
Yes.
Someone's trying to tell me that it's a different medium than comics, which is bullshit, I think.
I don't know. But anyway, I was going to say in any case, but you said it so many times.
I say in any case a lot. I'm sorry.
So anyways, so I was trying to get her into the comics that we read, and I suggested Saga. Because I think that Saga is a really good segue into comics. I feel like no one can really hate it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's just a great story, great art, and it's very relatable, a lot of relatable emotions, and it's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
So she loved it. She stayed up all night and read way past where I am. She's all caught up.
Oh yeah, she read like 50 issues in one night.
Yeah, so I'm on volume 4, and she's way past that.
Yeah.
I think anyone who, if you're trying to get anyone into comics, I think that God Country is a great way to change their mind about it. And I think Saga is a great one to get them into.
Yeah. And that's specifically for people that like, I'm sure there are people out there that like have read 1 or 2 in the past and they're just like, oh yeah, it's fun or whatever. But I think it's good for people that are like, they'd never have read it before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe your parents, maybe a coworker, if they're looking for a good piece of literature. I feel like people just don't really know what it is, comics in general. Like, they really don't.
As I said, what my mom and I both thought is it's just boom pow, silly kid stuff, and that's not at all what it is. They have that, but that is definitely not what most of it is.
And they thought the same thing about wrestling. They didn't like it at first, but I changed their mind because I know everything.
Yes. And now we're planning on going to WrestleMania next year.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
WrestleMania. Oh, my gosh. And I'm so excited. Okay. Also, Samantha was not always into comics, but she was always going to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, for everybody who wants to cringe right now. But she would always...
This is so sad, by the way.
Go ahead.
So sad. Well, I would always go to Comic-Con. I was working for a company there, and, I would pass by all the...
I'm pretty sure they know the company. Do you want to just tell them?
Okay. I worked for Square Enix. And helping with their events and stuff. So I would pass by the artists and the writers, and I would have no idea who they were. And I'd just be like, oh, that was cool. Whatever. Okay. And then what did we see recently? That Grant Morrison was there
for years that you
with
went.
Someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, people who I love now.
Yeah.
All
these people were probably there every single person was there one of the years at least.
And I probably looked them in the eye and didn't, care at all. Didn't know who they were.
Who knows? Maybe you're standing in line for the bathroom with them.
Maybe I was. Maybe I went to the bathroom. I don't know, but it was crazy. So, we're hoping to go back. Mm-hmm. And now I'll know these people.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be great.
Doug's definitely going to Comic-Con this year. So
awesome.
I'm really pumped for that. Maybe he'll be able to do some live interviews.
Ooh.
Ooh. In any case, do you have anything else that you that is what?
One of my new horror favorite ones, which
horror?
is horror.
Horror?
Horror.
Horror?
Horror. Horror.
Oh, thank you.
Witches.
Okay.
Witches is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
What does Scott Sanders say in the back of his? Because you really liked his autobiography kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the best parts. Because after you read it, you read why he wrote it and how it relates to him, and it's amazing because it's such a personal book for him. And he's like, everything else that I've written has been not so personal, just stories I like and stuff. But this was, based on my fears and my loves and my everything. So it was really personal for him. And he talks about his childhood and how it still relates, he's this age. It's great. So if you have the whole thing, the volume,
mm-hmm.
Please read the back. I know it's a lot, but please do it. It's really worth it.
It is really a lot of
There's 5 pages of just
oh,
Jesus.
Writing.
Yeah, but it's really worth it.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's cool. We just got another book written by Grant Morrison, a novel, or his autobiography, Super Gods, which we're both excited to read that as well, because I love Grant Morrison. He's fantastic. Okay. Well, I think, we're a little bit shorter than usual, but I think that's to be expected. We're not in usual format. We're new people. We're just having a fun time, with you guys. It's fun. And without Doug, because he sucks. Just kidding. We love Doug. Doug's great. Doug's really busy. Oh, by the way, I should tell these people, if you're still here, we might have scared them off. Who knows? My parents were in town last week, so that's why I wasn't available. And this week, Doug has a lot of work for the Minnesota Lynx. So they're just starting their season. So watch the game. I don't know if they actually televise the game. And you guys probably don't even live in Minnesota, so they're probably not televising it. But who knows? Maybe you're big fans. Big fans of Doug. Yeah.
And if anyone, cares to know, my dog, Theodore McFluffington, was in this room. And,
he contributed.
He did. He whispered a lot of stuff to us to tell us, hey, talk about this, talk about this.
Exactly.
He is just sleeping. But still.
Whatever.
He's really cute.
In any case, that's going to do it for this week. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. We're a new podcast, so one of the biggest things you can do for us is, if you like the show, it's a big thing to do for us if you don't like the show too, just do it the opposite if you don't like the show. Just give us a review or star rating on iTunes. It's pretty fun. If you enjoyed what you heard, let someone know about us with your mouse or with your mouth. Do you like that?
I do.
Doug hates it.
Why? It's so funny.
He doesn't like it.
Doug,
he likes his dumb
great.
covered pun that he does at the end. That's his writing. My writing is in mouse or with your mouth.
I like that.
Anyways, we release episodes weekly on Sundays, so check back next week. Or you could subscribe to the podcast feed and never have to think about it. You can do the subscription thing or listen in general on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Overcast, and Google Play Music. Probably others, but whichever podcast app you prefer, we've got you covered. There you go, Doug. In the meantime, before the next episode, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook under the handle @ComicsCovered, as you would spell it. You can also find web archives of all our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com. And on our YouTube channel. If you want to get a hold of us, we didn't do any questions this week because I'm dumb, Samantha's new, and we don't know that much. So we probably wouldn't be able to answer a question. But we're probably going to do it next time because I think we definitely have questions that we need to answer.
And Doug will be back, and he knows all.
Doug will be back. We will be back for Status Quo next week. But in any case, if you want to send us a message, if you want to get a hold of us with a question or anything, you can send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, or even our email, which is comicscovered@gmail.com. I don't have it written down here, but I believe that's it. I'm pretty positive. I'm 99.99% sure that it is comicscovered@gmail.com. Thank you again for listening. I'm Doug. I'm just kidding. I'm Jack. Doug's not here. I'm also Prickly Pear.
And I'm Samantha.
And this has been Comics Covered.
Comics Covered.
Comics Covered.
Comics Covered.
Covered.
Comics Covered. Comics Covered. Comics Covered.